Hello, my name is Sherry Pierce, and I'm a very proud Pink Cadillac sales director with Mary Kay. And I wanted to share with you today a little bit about our career opportunity and why women are joining our company in record droves. So I'll tell you a little bit about my history with Mary Kay and why I joined, some of the facts about the company, and then I'll show you how we all get started. How's that sound? Sound good? All right. So back in May of 1990, my husband and I were looking for a career opportunity for me that I would be able to stay home with my children that were then 3 and 5 years old. I have a teaching degree in elementary ed and thought I would be a teacher all my life. And once I started substituting in the schools, I found it wasn't for me. And how many of you have ever gotten into something, a job or anything, and it's just, you found out it wasn't really what you thought it was? That was me. So I was looking for something different because I didn't want to get a full-time job. And Zach was getting ready to go to kindergarten that fall in May of 1990. So my husband and I we were owning a commercial landscape business that we took a partner on, and he wasn't as honest as we were. And so we had to close the company. So I then started waiting tables at night for extra money, in addition to working at one of my friends' preschools as a teacher because my kids could go there for free. So we were really looking for something for me. We just didn't know what. And just a little backstory, when I was raised, my mom was a single parent with 4 kids, myself and 3 brothers, by the time I was 13. And we always had to work to have extra money to have things, like everybody else did. And so I was never afraid to work. I would go to lifeguard all day, and then I'd work at Kentucky Fried Chicken at night. And my brother would pick me up from there because I would ride my bike to work. So I have a good work ethic. And so many of you sitting there thinking, I'm a good worker. I show up. I'm on time. I go to work when I'm supposed to, not calling in, not always having drama. That was, me. I just went to work no matter what. And so that's the kind of women we look for, is women that have great work ethic. So if that's you, Mary Kay might be for you. So anyway, that's a little bit of my growing up story. And so when my husband said, you know what, we were living in Bradenton, Florida at the time. I was raised in Cincinnati. He was raised in Kansas, and we ended up, moving to Florida because his family lived there. And a girl that grows up in Cincinnati, you always want to live in Florida or California. So we ended up going to Florida. And that's where Mary Kay found me. So he decided he was going to go on a road trip and figure out where we were going to move to. Well, on that road trip, he saw a bunch of pink Cadillacs on the road, and he said, there's something to this pink Cadillac. So he went to the library and went to Microfiche. Those of you that only have the internet, you don't know about all the things, encyclopedias, and that we used to look things up. It's telling my age a little bit. So he went and read for hours about the Mary Kay company. And when he came home from that trip, he said, you know what, Sherry, I read a lot about this company called Mary Kay, and you need to go sign up to be a beauty consultant. I think you would be great at it. I said, well, what's Mary Kay? And he said, it's a skincare and makeup company, and you find somebody that's a beauty consultant and you go sign up. So I was like, well, I don't know how to do that. And he goes, well, go find somebody. So I went to work that night waiting tables and told all my wait and table buddies, Reno wants me to sell Mary Kay. And they said, oh, no, Sherry, you don't want to do that. However, do you let your friends influence you on things? Well, I certainly was going to allow them at that time. They said, we won't buy anything from you, and you have to have those parties, and we won't have a party. So I went home and I told Reno, that's my husband's name, I can't sell Mary Kay because nobody that I know will have a party for me or buy anything. And he said, well, Sherry, he goes, do you want to have them influence you for the rest of your life? They make $50 a night. You're more than that. So that made me mad. I said, well, how do you find this beauty consultant? Well, his mom came over one day, and who was a top seller in real estate. She said, oh, Mark Johnson's sister, Stephanie, over in Dallas, Texas, I think she's a consultant. Call Mark. So we called Mark and asked if his sister was a consultant. Yes, she was. So we called her up, and she said, oh, I'm coming over to Florida to visit my folks next week. I'll bring over information. So before she even came, my husband gave me this starter kit check for $95. That's what it was back then. And said, just sign up. So when she came over, I just said, okay. She talked to me about the marketing plan. I really didn't listen that much because I already knew I was going to join. And she asked me a very important question. She said, Sherry, if we could teach you to do what we do, could you learn? And I thought, you know what? I could learn. I could learn this. I'm college educated. I went to, college for being a teacher. And I'm a good student. So I said, yeah. And so to make a long story short, that's what I signed up. I never tried the product. I didn't go to a party. So that's not the normal. I'm an exception. And then we do have exceptions. So maybe you've tried product, fell in love with it, and are listening to it now. Maybe you've never tried product and you're just looking for an opportunity. That could be like me. And so I joined, and guess who was my first party? All my waiting table buddies. And I sold them $300 of Mary Kay, which would probably be about $800 in today's times. Booked a party and recruited one of my waiting table friends. So I started in Florida, and then we finally sold our house and we moved here to Cincinnati, where I grew up, and started my business, and just started loving, doing my parties and everything here. And within my first year, earned my first career car and became a sales director a year later. So, your journey can be, you can start now and get, going right away and start earning cars and become a sales director. There's no time limit on when you do that, but that's just my journey. So I'm going to share with you a few reasons why women do come into the company. Maybe my story relates to you, maybe it doesn't, but you might know somebody that would be good. And we offer you a nice gift for anybody that you would refer to me as your beauty consultant, or one of my consultants listening to this, customers, for just saying, hey, this person in my life, your mom, your sister, your friend, your family, your cousin, your neighbor, might enjoy a business like Mary Kay. Because entrepreneurship is really like the way to go, because in today's world, we never know if doors are going to close tomorrow on corporate offices. I mean, think about all the restaurants, think about all the businesses that have closed prior, since the pandemic. It changed a lot of the world. And with us, we have the best of everything, because we can help you in a community. We can help you grow your confidence. And, you can work like virtually, online, or you can work in person. We have a hybrid business, which is awesome, because women love to have flexibility and they love to have choices and freedom, right? So one of the reasons women join is, the first thing is usually the 50% profit. Yes, I did say 50% profit. We're one of the highest indirect sales. What you buy for one, you sell for two. So that's awesome. And it's a reorder business. When you run low on a product, say you run low on a product, I don't have a product sitting in here, then you just will reorder it, right? So we're paid over and over again for the initial time that we had spent with you. Second reason is for recognition. I'm wearing some beautiful earrings Mary Kay gave to us just when we came home from seminar. And this is one of the 4-carat diamond rings Mary Kay awarded us when our unit achieved at least $500,000 in sales. I'm wearing some bracelets as a monthly gift. And I'm wearing this lei around my neck and my wrist because the top sales director trip is to Hawaii, Maui this year. And my unit and I are working to be a top ranking unit in the $650,000 Circle of Excellence this year. And when we achieve that, they send my husband and I to all expense paid trip to Maui. So that's a big deal that you could do it at True, especially if you love to travel. Third reason women join is for the self-confidence, self-improvement. We always say it's the best self-improvement course you can get paid to do. How many of you feel like you might be kind of isolated or have anxiety or depression since the pandemic? We were closed up and, kind of sheltered for so long that we have such a rise in depression and anxiety and loneliness, that Mary Kay is a community where we're just going to love you up the ladder. We're just going to love you up to success. How's that sound? Fourth reason is a career car program. You heard in my introduction, I'm proud to be a Pink Cadillac sales director. I've earned the use of 18 career cars, 9 of those Pink Cadillacs. The company pays your car payment, tags, license, and 85% of your insurance. It is so awesome to have the use of a career car, and we'll be picking ours up this September. The fifth reason women join is for the advancement. You don't have to wait for somebody to die or retire to move up in the career path. You can join Mary Kay today, sign your sister up, and she starts with her product, and you make a commission check. So it's a very generous commission schedule. The last reason women join is for the freedom and flexibility. Call your own shots. Be your own boss. How many of you guys like to be told when you have to go to the bathroom or when you can take vacation? We have really, really enjoyed that part of our business for the 33 years that I've been building my business. And, you know, when you think about it, why do women stay in Mary Kay? Because of everything that I just talked about. It is a real viable career opportunity. Okay, so maybe you might be thinking, how do you get started with this Mary Kay business? Well, we have two options. One is what we call a $30 e-start kit, and that is where you sign up for $30 and you get a consultant number, an app to process credit cards, and a personal website for a year. It's $30, and it will take you into the company. The other option is the $130 option, and that's our starter kit that comes with over $400 in retail value product that you get for $130. It still gives you the personal website for a year and the ProPay app to take credit cards for $130 for over $400 in retail value, where you get your little mirrors and trays to do your appointments with. You get the product to demo, you get samples. It's just awesome. So many times people say, well, you know what, Sherry, I have some concerns. Like, I don't know enough people. I didn't know a lot of people when I started in Florida. I knew a couple girls that I worked with at, you know, the restaurant and the schools. It started with them. You don't have to know a lot of people. When I moved and came here to Cincinnati, guess what? I had 2 high school girlfriends that before I moved, I said, you guys, you got to have a party for me and invite 5 people that I don't know. And they were like, okay, we can do that. So that's where I started, with 2 friends here in Cincinnati. So you can do that. Some people say, well, you know what? My husband, he'll never let me. Well, how many times have you ever gotten something that you didn't ask for permission of? I mean, I'm not saying you don't talk to your husband, but when you go to the grocery store, do you ask permission for what you're going to buy? Usually not. If you're going to buy a new outfit, usually not. So this is $130 or $30. So we usually just say, you know what, give it a whirl. And there's no things that say you have to continue in it, because we do have a 90% buyback. Should you start your Mary Kay business and you purchase products to sell to your customers, which is not mandatory, then if you decide in your first year you don't like it, you can ship those products back to the company and they'll buy it back at 90%. Now, that was really good for us when we closed our business with Landscape Company. We owned tens of thousands of dollars of equipment that we didn't have any income paying for it. So we had to pay that off. We couldn't give it back to John Deere. Another reason women say, well, you know what? I'm shy. You know, I'm not good in front of people. You don't have to be, because guess what? You can do it like this on a screen, or you can start off with one appointment, you know, like one person in front of you. That's called a facial. And then you can grow your confidence to do a group appointment. Another reason women say is, you know, I don't have enough money. I don't have the $130 to get started. Well, how long do you want to live without having $130 in your wallet that you couldn't start, or on a credit card? You know, this is a viable source of income for you to begin. Just begin. You might not start off, you know, like all, $1,000 weeks or anything, but you can start with some. And most women now, like families since the pandemic, need an extra $500 a month. It's proven that, most Americans need extra money. So those are just some of the reasons for what holds people back, and hopefully none of them would. But we would love to answer any questions you have. I'm so thankful that you took the time to watch this video and give us your feedback to either myself or my consultant that asked you to watch this video, because you know what? You can make a change in the world, and it might just be now. Why not you? Why not now? Thank you so much again for taking the time to watch, and we'd be happy to answer any questions. Bye-bye.